The cargo bay of the Meridian Dawn hummed with the steady rhythm of hyperspace engines as Kevin Martinez checked the inventory manifest for the third time that hour. Life as a freelance hauler meant long stretches of solitude between the stars, broken only by the occasional supply run to frontier colonies. He preferred it that way, no complications, no entanglements, just him and the void. That preference shattered the moment his proximity alarm screamed at Kevin bolted to the cockpit, fingers flying across the console. The scanner showed debris, a lot of it scattered across his flight path. At the center floated a dying ship, its hull breached in a dozen places, atmosphere venting in crystalline plumes. Damn it, he muttered, knowing he should fly past. Getting involved meant questions, delays, potential trouble with authorities. But his hands were already adjusting course before his brain finished the argument. The ship was cell theory in design, elegant curves and bioluminescent panels, now dark and lifeless. Kevin maneuvered the Meridian Dawn close enough to extend his docking tube, mag sealing it to the damaged hull. He pulled on his EVA suit, checked his oxygen reserves, and cycled through the airlock. The alien vessel's interior was a nightmare. Bodies floated in the zero gravity, their crystalline skin dulled in death. Kevin's stomach turned, but he pressed forward. Someone might still be alive. He found her in what looked like a sleeping chamber, a small Zolthiri child, no more than 5 in human years, curled inside a stasis pod. Her skin flickered with weak bioluminescence, barely holding on. The pod's power reserves blinked critical red dot. Kevin didn't hesitate. He pulled the emergency release, caught the child as she drifted free, and secured her to his chest. Her body was cold, too cold, but he felt a faint pulse beneath her translucent skin. Back on the Meridian Dawn, Kevin worked frantically. He knew almost nothing about Zolthiri physiology, but he knew hypothermia when he saw it. He wrapped her in thermal blankets, adjusted his ship's environmental controls to match what little he knew about their homeworld: higher humidity, specific light wavelengths. He synthesized nutrient paste from his medical database and coaxed it between her lips. For 3 days, the child hovered between life and death. Kevin barely slept, monitoring her vitals, adjusting treatments, talking to her even though he knew she couldn't understand. On the 4th day, her eyes opened deep violet pools that seemed to hold entire galaxies. She whispered something in her musical language. Kevin activated his translator. "Yeah, kid, you're safe." Her name, he learned, was Luminara, though she preferred Lumi. Her ship had been attacked by raiders, Kreshtar pirates who preyed on civilian vessels. Everyone aboard had died except her. Kevin filed a report with the nearest coalition authority, then continued his route with an unexpected passenger. Lumi was surprisingly resilient. Within a week she was exploring every corner of the Meridian Dawn, her natural curiosity undimmed by tragedy. Kevin found himself explaining human technology, teaching her Earth songs, even showing her how to play cards. She laughed at his terrible jokes and beat him at chess with alarming frequency. For 2 months they traveled together. Kevin told himself he was just waiting to find the right place to hand her over to Zolthiri authorities. But the truth was simpler: he'd grown attached, and judging by the way Lumi's bioluminescent patterns brightened when he entered a room, she felt the same. Then came the day his long-range scanners picked up a massive signal. Kevin's blood ran cold as the fleet materialized from hyperspace. 40 warship Zolthiri dreadnoughts, cruisers and carriers, their hulls gleaming with battle honors. At their center was a flagship that dwarfed his humble cargo. Hauler like a whale beside a minnow, his communication console exploded with incoming hails. Kevin accepted with shaking hands. The face that appeared on screen took his breath away. She looked like Lumi, but older, regal, with intricate patterns glowing across her skin. Her eyes, those same violet eyes, held an intensity that could melt steel. "I am Commander Jasmine Thalvara of the Zolthiri Imperial Fleet," she said, her translated voice carrying the weight of absolute authority. "You have my daughter aboard your vessel." "Ah, yes, ma'am, Commander, she's safe, healthy. I was bringing her to. I know what you were doing." "Kevin Martinez." Jasmine's expression softened fractionally. "I've been tracking your movements since you filed your report. I've read every communication, watched every sensor log. I know you saved Luminara when you could have left her to die. I know you cared for her as if she were your own." Kevin swallowed hard. Anyone would have done the same. No, Jasmine's voice was firm. They would not have. Most species in this galaxy would have abandoned a dying Zolthiri child or sold her for profit. You risked your safety, your livelihood, your freedom to save her. For that, Kevin Martinez, you have earned something precious. The fleet began to move, forming an honor escort around the Meridian Dawn. "You have earned the gratitude of the Zolthiri Empire," Jasmine continued, "and you have earned my personal debt. From this day forward, you are under our protection. Any who threaten, you threaten us. Any who harm you will face our wrath." Kevin was speechless. Lumi appeared beside him, her face lighting up as she saw her mother on screen. "Mama." Jasmine's composure cracked, tears streaming down her crystalline cheeks. "Hello, my starlight. I'm coming to bring you home." Hours later, Kevin stood in the docking bay of the flagship as Jasmine embraced her daughter. The reunion was beautiful and heartbreaking, Lumi babbling about her adventures while Jasmine held her as if she'd never let go. Finally, Jasmine approached Kevin. She placed a hand over his heart in the Zalthiri gesture of deepest respect. "You gave me back my universe," she said quietly. "How do I repay such a debt?" Kevin thought of his lonely cargo runs, his solitary existence among the stars. Then he looked at Lumi, who was watching him with hopeful eyes. "Just visits sometimes," he offered. "I've gotten used to having a chess partner who actually beats me." Jasmine smiled a real smile that made her seem less like a commander and more like a mother. "Consider it done. And Kevin, when you're ready to stop running from connections, the Zalthiri have a saying. Family is not always blood. Sometimes it's the person who showed up when everyone else walked away." As the Meridian Dawn departed, escorted by 2 Zalthiri cruisers assigned as his permanent protection, Kevin realized that saving one small life had changed everything, that a galaxy that often rewarded cruelty with power, he'd chosen kindness instead, and an army had answered with loyalty. That, he thought, was the most human thing of all. The end.